Okay, so can you see my screen all right?
Yes, yeah, all good.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so I'm on the new homepage.
Yeah,
It's not set up to be the new homepage at the moment because it would just
yeah,
redirect to your other page. But as soon as we're ready and you're happy with it, I can set it all up so that it doesn't redirect anymore, and that this is your new homepage.
yeah.
And
I think what we'll probably do is because as you say, at the moment this one redirects to the Fordbridge events one, doesn't it?
it does, yes.
So we'll probably well, we've definitely set this one up as it is on Fordbridge.com, and then it's just a question of whether we change the other one to forward to this one, um, or we leave it for a short while, because obviously our main point for the moment is to try and use this for some promotion in America, and so there's not quite the need to change the ForbridgeEvents.com one as there is to do this one. So we'll see, but yeah, we'll switch this one on when we're happy. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so I've logged in already at the moment, but I
Yeah,
mean, logging in is just the same as normal as if you were doing the landing
yeah,
page.
yeah.
And then you can either come up here and do edit with oxygen, or you can go into the dashboard, and the page I've set up, instead of calling it home, I've called it Fordbridge Events.
Okay.
And so then you would just click on edit with oxygen as normal.
Yeah.
So you wanted to know how to edit the text and the images, and then also how to do the posts as well, the blog posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's primarily it. We like the design. We did think about, I don't know if we spoke to you about this. We did think about taking out the events from our logo at the top there,
Yeah.
because so, and again, with the US market in mind, we're incorporated as Fordbridge, whereas in the UK we're registered as Fordbridge Events Limited. So I wonder if because we had our logos done like that, but is it easy for you to remove the events part of it?
Yes, I can easily, I can just pop a white
Yeah,
box over the top of it and save it as a new logo if you want.
yeah, yeah. Maybe we do that. Yeah, because to say with Fordbridge, we are Fordbridge Inc. and we're going to be Fordbridge.com. So kind of would just go along with that consistency of that to just to have it as Fordbridge there.
Let me know if you want to, because yeah, that'll be simple enough for me to do.
Okay, all right, great.
So again, this is all set up as individual little sections.
Same as the landing pages, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same. So if you want to change the text, you click on whichever text it is that you want to change, and you can either double click and change it in the text box or change it in the content on the side.
Okay.
And it's the same here. This is a heading section.
Yeah.
And then the images, again, you just click on the image and go to the media library and select the image that you want to use.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So it should.
And when you're uploading the images here, are you still doing them as JPEGs?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I am, because JPEGs they're a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly good quality for a website. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to get them printed, you might want to do, use PNGs, but for the purposes of the website, to keep it nice and fast. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's the reason I asked, is speed is still ultimately the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we'll be able to change that. That's fine. That's easy enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the same as well. These are just columns with a picture, a heading, and then some text. So are you comfortable updating all of those?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fine. Yeah. Although one question, slightly related, slightly unrelated, is, and I think I've asked you to change some things in previous landing pages, partly because I couldn't figure this bit out, bizarrely. When you've got a text and you wanted to bold a part of that text, how were you doing that? I didn't see how you were doing that on how it was possible to see it when it came up with the options here.
You've got a couple of options. If you're in a text box like this, you've got two different types of text box. So you've got an ordinary text box, which just has text, which you can't add any links or anything to. And there's a very limited amount of formatting that you can do with it. But you can, if you just want to bold one word or a few words, you can select them, she says. And then I use an Apple, I use Command and B for bold. And again, you can do Command and I. So you can use your normal shortcodes that you would use to do a tiny bit of formatting.
Okay, so but that explains then there wasn't an option in the panel here to bold. You just do it from your keyboard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do better, you know, a bit more elaborate formatting, or if you want to add links, then you add a rich text box, which is this option here. And in these, you can double click on it, and that gives you all the normal WordPress options that you have. So you can add links, you can change the formatting, the colors, all that sort of thing. So that gives you a lot more options, which is why you might notice that some boxes edit rich text.
I saw that. Yeah.
And some are just ordinary. But yeah, you won't see any options to select individual words here, but you can do with shortcodes.
Okay, fine, gotcha. That's good to know. Yeah, sorry, I'm asking questions randomly as we're going down, so I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
With the the clients' logos, you're adding them presumably just as individual images, are you?
Yes. So these are just ordinary column dividers, and then these are individual images, but I've popped them inside a separate divider so that they all are the same size and they all uniform.
So are you only able to do that by creating those dividers, i.e. do you have to have those boxes around them to be able to do that, or can you do it where they are the same size? Because I agree that's is important, but without the border of the box.
Yes, we can take the border of the box off. I just popped it on there just to separate them out a little bit. But if you wanted to take the border off, you would just come in, you make sure that you've got the divide. So you've got the image.
Yes.
And then you've got the divider.
Yeah.
You would make sure you've got the divider selected, and then you would go to advanced. And this gives you the different options for borders and sizes and spaces.
Okay. So
you can see here at the moment, it's a solid.
It's on solid, border. Yeah.
So we can just take this off and make it. In fact, you can just change that to none. And that takes it off. I put a white background on. It's very subtle. But I mean, again, we can change that as well if you want. But so with some of the images being smaller than others, I thought it was better to have a consistent white background. I mean, we could change this whole section to white.
Maybe. Yeah, so I mean, the main reason I ask about the borders is just because they're all very, I don't want to say funny about their logos, but they're very protective of their logos, right?
Yes.
So even when it's put in a box, which is never how they would do it. So that's why I'm thinking, should we have it then without it? Then I see, another reason why you've done it, which is to create the white background, which does make it stand out more. Do you think then if you didn't have those white backgrounds, it was what was it, just blending it a little bit too much with the darker?
Well, if you didn't have the white backgrounds, because some of them are on white backgrounds and some of them aren't.
Right.
And they're also different sizes as well. So you can see this next wave, it's thin.
Yeah.
And the Udemy business is very thin. So then you would have just the thin white background, and then it looks disjointed. This could look a bit more, uniformed.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
But we can, to change that, we can make this whole section a white background, which would negate that. I would have to select the whole section. Background color. I'll have to find a white. In fact, if I just go like this. So then, you know, that would work. That would be better.
Yeah.
I would play them with the paddings on here so that it looks a bit better. But
Yeah.
you've got a couple of different options there. So we could either have it. If we remove the borders from all of these, I'd suggest changing the background to white for the whole section. Because otherwise the white, it doesn't stand out enough.
So the way there to do it is to keep the dividers, but do it with no border color, and then have the whole background as white. I think that's the best way of doing it, mate. Just because I think the logos look better as they're standalone, but I accept the fact that you've got to get them uniform size, so that makes sense. Yeah.
I can do that then, James. That's no problem.
Okay, great. Okay, it looks good then. Yeah, definitely.
So the logos, I'll remove the border and make the section background white. So yeah, that just makes sure that they're all the same size, and of course when you're looking at it on different screens as well, they'll still be they'll still look nice. Okay,
great.
I'll change. I won't do that now while we're on here.
Yeah, fine, no problem. Thank you. Now, we had a question from Hinadu about the alignment here, because the way you've done it again is you put the formats in boxes, haven't you, or whatever they're called?
Yes.
Which has adjusted the type into the page, so everything else is aligned left, and then you've got these indentations. So I think she thought it might look better if it was still all aligned in the same way. Is that difficult to do that or not?
No,
just
no.
like it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But obviously you did it for that reason. So from your design eye, do you think it looks better the way you've done it?
I think it looks nicer with the padding. I mean, if you let me do these three here so that you can see.
Yeah.
To my eye, it looks a little bit like squished. But I tell you what, you could show Hanada this so that she can see both options, you know.
Yeah.
With the padding and without, because we can easily do it with that. I could even change the margin of this so that it comes out this way, but that might look a bit strange actually. I recommend doing
but that. I think I tend to agree with you actually. It does look better, I think, the way you had it.
Yes, I know what you mean, because it does sort of jump out, but it also makes it a lot clearer where the headings are and the content.
I think it's a difference between whether you're scrolling quite quickly down, where it's more noticeable. But if you're stopping and looking at it, I think how you've done it does make more sense.
Yes, I prefer it like this.
Yeah.
But it would be fine like that too.
Well, I think you're right. Let's just if you leave it like that.
Yes.
for a bit, and I'll garner some feedback. But I think it may come back that we prefer it the original way you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it doesn't take long to change the divider. So I could easily pop the margins back in again.
Right.
I'll leave that like that, so you can get some opinions. But
and obviously they're all editable the same way. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the same. These are rich text ones.
Okay. You've got some formatting in there.
Yeah. And then these are the posts. So your events, they look funny like this because they format themselves. But if I'll save the changes we've done so far, but I'll go back in and I'll make the adjustments to the logos. So yes, and these you would change in the actual posts. So to get to the posts, you need to go to the dashboard. And you'll see here just above the media, you've got posts.
Yeah.
If you click on here, you can see these are the 3 that I've set up.
Yeah.
So if you want to change them, you just go into edit.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, James, these will be so fast for you to do. You can literally just copy and paste in any text that you've got. So you've got your title here. I wasn't sure what you wanted to put in, so I've just put the address for the moment, and then you can just copy and paste any text that you want underneath, and anything that you want to add about it.
Yeah.
So
that's it. You're only changing it there. That's the only place you're changing it.
It is.
Okay.
Anything you want. Whoops. And you can add different blocks. So if you wanted to add another block, you would click on this little arrow plus here. And if you wanted to, you could add another image, you could add a gallery. In fact, there's all sorts of different things that you could add, but I recommend just keeping it simple to start off with, at least.
Yeah. And where is the past where the original image you had on that? Where's that?
So that's just here under featured image.
Ah, okay.
So you've got post and you've got block. So if you selected this anything on the left hand side, it will come up with block on the right, and that's where you change your background and the typography and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But to change anything to do with the whole post, you click on post, and this is where you can select categories. If you want it to be a featured post, so you want it to go on your front page, you would select that here under category. And then your image, you would select here. So if we wanted to replace that, you would click on it and select.
Same. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really, really simple to do.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put in a particular excerpt, you could write that in here.
What does that do? Sorry.
So that will change. Have we got? Let me just see what we've got on the front page. So an excerpt is a little clip. Oh,
yes, well, that one.
Spell error. Let me go back to the front page. How many times have you done that?
Many.
I keep doing it as well.
And the other mistake I make, but I realize it quickly, is when I haven't published a page and it goes to that home page each time as well. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's fine. I am getting there slowly.
So the excerpt is this little tiny clip here.
Ah, okay.
So at the moment, it's just selecting the first bit of text that you've got on the post.
Okay. So if you don't do anything specific, it will just take the first few words or line or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. And we can change the amount of the excerpt. At the moment, there's not much on there because I've only literally just put the title.
Yeah.
A tiny bit of text.
Yeah. So the way it comes up at the moment is these are 3 featured events. You can have any number of featured events, is it? Is that the case?
Yeah, we can change them. I've just put it. I mean, 3 is a good number, from a design point of view.
That's fine.
So you can change those. I've set it up so that if you have particular featured images, featured events rather, it will select the 3 latest featured events.
Right. Yeah.
But you can change which ones appear if you want to you can see as you look at the events under categories, you've got events and featured. So you can even do a quick edit on here and you can just untick that and tick another one if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So it will only, at the moment, it will only show 3 because you don't want to have a whole load of them on there. If they want to see more, they can go to the events page. Okay.
But the events page is still going to be posts, basically, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
So the events page takes the information from your posts, but it's got all of them there. So if I go back, in fact, I've got it here. So if I go to the events page, you can see it will have all of them rather than just 3.
Yeah.
And if you've got lots and lots, then it will put, I think it's set up for 20 or 10, it might be. And then it will have page 1 of however many at the bottom.
And the order it puts them in there, is chronological in terms of publish date, or what's the order?
Yeah, publish date.
Okay.
We can change that. You could have them alphabetical if you wanted to. You could.
No, publish date is fine. Yeah, no, I think publish date is fine. Yeah.
And you can
it's
change the date as well. So if you wanted to make the published date the date of the event, for example, to make it easier for you, so you can find particular dates. If you do quick edit, you can change the date here.
Okay.
So you could make this date the date of the event, and then it would show them in order of date of the event, if that makes sense.
It does, but does it also, would it do future dates then, or not, or would it just think that's an error?
I think it would do future dates. Let's have a look.
Because obviously most of the events that we put up, well, all of them really, are going to be future events until they happen.
So I've just made that one. No, look, yeah, you're right. It's going to schedule it. So yeah, you might not want to do that.
Okay.
For future ones, because it will.
So then, is there a way of because yeah? So what will happen is that we'll create an event for a certain time, and then we're likely to have ones that go before that, but we publish them after. So is there a way then of manually reordering them?
Not really. You would have to change the date here to change the order in which they appear.
But you could then, you'd all have to do, I guess, then is just go back a day before the other one, and that would be enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite quick, as you can see, it's quite quick to pop in and
that's fine.
And change the date. But yes, because it's set up, and it's a really good system, this post system, that's what WordPress was built for, really, is for being a blog. And so this is using the features within the blog to showcase your events, which I think should work quite well.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like that.
You can put whatever you like in there. Pictures, videos, any information that you want to share about it. I've just pulled these little bits of info.
Yeah, definitely like it.
If you get lots and lots and you want to start categorizing them a little bit more, say you want to just, you want people to go on there and click on a menu that just says, please just show me all the breakfast clubs. We could do that later on as well if you wanted to. We can categorize them a bit further.
Well, there's still some debate about how we want to regionalize. I mean, that's really the key, rather than probably by format, is regional. So if we have US events and European events, for example, that we definitely want to be able to distinguish between, but we're not quite sure how we want that to look. So whether it's like say a menu choice, or what else, I don't know how else you could do it, but that needs some thought, definitely, because our aim here is to put up US events.
Yes.
But we do want people to be able to see, all the other events we do as well. So how are we going to do that? Because there's no point us putting up an event for Munich when we're marketing into the States. They won't care. But if they want to look wider at the group, at the company, to see what else we do, then we do want them to have the ability to do that.
Yes.
So if you have any ideas about how to do that, then other than the menu, because the other problem with the menu is it might just then have two things, which is USA and Europe, and that's not really a menu. There's only two things.
Yeah.
So it might not look good, but
I mean, would you want them to be regional by the area in the States?
I don't know if we have enough that would warrant that. That's the only problem. I mean, we would in Europe, but in America, do we have enough that we could regionalize? I don't know.
Well, the good thing about this is it's something it can grow and it can change
Yeah,
as you know
yeah.
as time goes on. So for the moment, I'd suggest keeping it really simple, and you can
That
always have a link somewhere if you want for them to go to the once you've got your European site how you want it to go to the European site so they can see what you're doing in Europe if you wanted them to.
yeah, I think that could be the way to do it. Is I think ultimately, well, I don't know. We do with FordbridgeEvents.com. I think we might as well always keep it, but it could be that we have a link to it from this, which is, I don't know, whatever we call it, the global site or whatever. And it would just then start with all the European events. And this one would start with all the US events. So I think that is probably the way to do it, definitely. But then if we did that, we'd want that ability at the top, wouldn't we? So how do you have something that I guess it's a bit similar to when you have languages, isn't it? Or that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I think so. I mean, you can have it show different pages depending on which you wanted. So, for example, at the moment we've got Fordbridge events and we've got this menu here. But like if you go onto one of your landing pages, you have something completely different at the top.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
could create different menus depending on whether it's European and whether it's American, and so
Yeah.
each would show two different sets of pages and
Yeah.
two different. So you would have the same information in the background, but it would only show you the European events and the European information if you were on that menu, and
Right.
on the American it would show you a different thing. So it's one website but with two different views.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could easily have an option like a button at the top, like you do with languages.
Mm-hmm.
You click on like an American flag and
Yeah.
a Euro flag, or
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what you
Well,
use
exactly. Yeah.
nowadays.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah.
That
That
would
I
be
think
quite
that would
simple
be
to
quite
set up.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to end in 10 minutes.
Okay. All
We
right.
can always set it going again if you need a little bit more time. But I think for the moment, are you happy going in and editing those posts?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can do that. So things to do. The images we'll edit a little bit. That's fine. We'll change some of those. Some of the text. Yeah, that's fine. You'll and I'll do a add a post just to see how that goes. I'm sure that's fine. And then you're going to remove the events from the logo.
Yes, I'm going to remove the lines from the logo, and I'm going to change this to white.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave this lines
just to yeah.
So you can see the difference and decide which one you prefer.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
But if there's anything that you want me to change and you get stuck, you can always pop me a quick email and.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We appreciate that. Thank you.
But
we're almost there, which is good. We just need to then, we just need to make a few edits and then add more of the events in, and then we can go live. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. And can you get it to a stage where all the staff can view it before we're live, or is it only going to be like this, the way you've shared it with us so far?
They can, yes, because they can just click on. You can share this page with them as if it were a landing page.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
So yes, you can just copy this URL.
Yeah.
They'll be able to view this without being logged in.
Okay. That's fine then. Yeah.
So yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, good. And then, I mean, I haven't looked at it on mobile, but this is optimized for mobile as well, right?
Yes, it is. It should look fine on tablet and mobile.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll do that when we've done the changes. Okay, good. That all seems fairly clear.
Great.
Thank you for that. And we have got it recorded, didn't we? We did record it. You recorded it.
We have,
So
yes.
that'll be good for me as well. I do sometimes go back to the video you did for the editing. It's very useful.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And I think they are useful. I mean, I like to be able to see things. I'm very visual, you know, so I learn a lot by watching other people. So, yeah, good. I'm glad you find it useful.
Definitely. Okay. Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks very much, Maggie. That's great.
You're welcome, James. Well, have a lovely evening. And yeah,
You
do
too.
pop me a quick email if you have any questions. But
Yeah.
I'll share this video with you.
Okay. Great.
We'll take it from there.
Appreciate it. All right.